Hi everyone, I'm Timm from the camp department. Thank you so much for joining me for week 4 of the New Year, New You program. I want you to take some time to thank yourself for tuning into this video or attending class or any of the other things that you've done for yourself while joining this program. This week is the halfway mark if you didn't realize that. So great job on the motivation and the commitment to making your best you. This week, Bailey asked me to mix it up a little bit and speak on behalf of mindful eating. If you've taken a 10 and 10 class with me before, you've probably heard me speak on this topic. I'm pretty passionate about it, and I actually think that it can help in a lot of areas of life, not just with your food. So it can help with exercise, and it can help with other things as well. So I will warn you, the idea of putting this into practice can be a little bit more challenging than calorie counting, as it requires you to really tune into yourself, and you end up learning some things about yourself that you may not like to learn. So with calorie counting, you typically have a goal. You try to reach that goal each day or below that goal, and it involves you looking at labels and getting the knowledge and things, which is all wonderful tools to have. However, mindful eating kind of puts all that stuff to the side and focuses more on you and taking back that control. So it can be really great for some people, and other people really don't like this method. So practice what you choose and take on what you want, and if it's not for you, that's totally okay. The Center for Mindful Eating, a link that you can find next to this video on our webpage should you want to check it out further, explains the principles to mindful eating as this. Our relationship to food is a central one that reflects our attitudes toward our environment and ourselves. As a practice, mindful eating can bring us awareness of our own actions, thoughts, feelings, and motivations, and insight into the roots of health and contentment. How do we begin to acquire the awareness of our food practices? So let's start with the cycle of mindful eating. Also can be found on our webpage as a reference. As we go through this, I want you to take some time and either reflect on the last meal or snack that you just had, or if you have food in front of you, even better, and really tune in and think about these questions that I'm going to present to you now. Why am I eating? So really explore this, the why of your food. Is it out of true hunger and you have stomach rumbles, or is it because that brownie looks super yummy? Either way, accept what it is and acknowledge it before you move forward. So take some time right now to explore your hunger. Maybe you've just eaten and you're not hungry at all, and that's okay, but it's good to tune into that as well. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not hungry at all, 10 being I'm starving and I'm gonna eat the whole house, how hungry are you right this moment? I encourage you to eat something when you are in between a 4 and a 7. So eating below a 4, you're probably not hungry enough to indulge, right? Eating above a 7, you might be so hungry because you've allowed yourself to go without food for that long that you want to eat everything in sight, which is not going to help you in regards to paying attention. You're just going to scarf down the food, right? And before you know it, it's gone, and then you feel really over full a lot of times. So trying to eat between that 4 and 7. So the next one is when I am eating. Is it because it's the only time you have right now to eat your food because it's your lunch hour? You're maybe not even that hungry, but you feel like you need to eat something because you're not going to have time later. That's pretty common in our culture, to not have the time to actually eat just when we're hungry. So tune into that though. Maybe you just don't eat as much right now because you're not super hungry, but this is the time that you have to eat, and I understand that. This one can be really hard for people. Next is what am I eating? This is a pretty obvious one, right? When it comes to trying to lose weight or to watch what you're eating, we're always consistently looking at what am I eating, right? The good versus the bad food. Now with mindful eating, we don't focus on good and bad foods. There's no such thing. All foods can be a part of your diet, and it's just being more attentive to how much of it maybe you're eating, right? So because all foods get to fit into your diet with a mindful eating approach, if you are wanting to enjoy that bite of a delicious brownie, I'm going to keep mentioning that, apparently I really want brownies, you do it and you enjoy every minute of that brownie, right? Because you're being mindful that that's what you want in that moment. You're not scarfing it down so fast that you forgot that you even ate it or you think someone else took it from you. So mindful eating is being more aware of the foods that you're eating, not necessarily nitpicking which food you are eating. And I promise, sometimes that brownie is exactly what you need, and that's okay. The next one is how am I eating? So are you eating as you are driving to work? Are you eating as you're going up the stairs to your office maybe? and by the time you hit the top of the stairs, it's already gone and you're like, who ate my food? The practices around your eating can really identify how much you end up eating throughout your day. The next one is how much. So of course, if you're hoping to lose some weight, this is a big one. How much food you're eating is going to obviously impact your weight loss or weight gain. So paying attention to how much we're eating at a sitting, as well as not eating until we're so filled up. So the goal here is to eat until you're satisfied. Now, you need to check in on what that means to you. Being satisfied can mean to some people eating a whole cake. So really tune into what that means to you. We're not trying to eat so much that we're so full we can't move, right? So this may involve you slowing down, right? The whole point of mindful eating is checking in and tuning into yourself. So once you allow yourself to slow down and enjoy your food, enjoy every bite, then your body will have time to tell you when it's full. And finally, where am I eating? So sometimes we have locations that promote eating even though we don't realize it. So sitting at your desk, for example, can be a prompter for eating. I'll use myself as an example. Oftentimes I would get to work after I had eaten breakfast at home, come into work, and an hour later I'm like, I think I need second breakfast. It was just all too easy to be sitting there and to eat. So I had associated food with sitting at my desk. So I really encourage you to avoid that. Creating eating locations for yourself. Hence why at home, having a dining room table and eating as a family potentially, or eating in one location can actually be very beneficial so that you're not creating all of these places all over your home or work that are promoting extra food intake. So I suggest choosing 1 or 2 locations in your home, preferably not the couch, as a location for eating, as well as at work, whether it's a break room or the cafeteria, if you have one. I could speak on behalf of mindful eating all day, as you can probably tell, but this week I really encourage you to explore the why, when, what, how, and how much, and where you are eating your food, to start bringing yourself more awareness around your personal food habits. So the best part about mindful eating, like I mentioned, is that it isn't so much about the specific foods that you are eating, but more on the way we are eating them. So it can also involve our thoughts and emotions around our food. So be kind of conscious of that as well. Like, are you feeding a true stomach hunger, or are you feeding a heart hunger or an emotional hunger? So oftentimes when we can be mindful about the food we eat, we naturally are choosing healthier foods and eat less of the extras, such as sweets or salty or something with less nutrients in it. So when we trust that our body can tell us what we want, we get to take back the control. So good luck this week, everyone, and enjoy tuning in.